Listen to this tweet. Proud of my son who rang up Pizza Express and ordered 12 pizzas. Just before he needed to pay, he asked if the meat was halal. The person went out to ask the chef, came back and said it was halal. My son then canceled the order and told her why. He did this all on purpose. So Delphi Dolphin and her son have some violent beliefs that for some reason they think are funny and they're proud of. And of course, they're not, but also they really have a lot of time on their hands to play these stupid pranks. Just another day on the internet seeing in real time the rise of Christian nationalism.
Again, there is no separation of church and state. It's a fabrication. It's a fiction. It's not in the Constitution. It's made up by secular humanists. Of course, we should have church and state mixed together. Our founding fathers believed in that. We can go.
Charlie Kirk loves to call himself a constitutionalist. Let's see what the Constitution has to say about religion and the government. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. There's also Article 6 that says, in part, no religious test shall be ever required as a qualification to any office or public trust under the United States, aka your religion doesn't matter. And in 1797, the U.S. government signed the Treaty of Tripoli to protect American sailors from pirates. It reads in part, as the government of the United States of America is not in any sense founded on the Christian religion.
I like this video a lot because it clearly lays out the word-for-word quotes in our Constitution that disprove any notion that the Founding Fathers wanted to create a Christian fundamentalist nation. I can't believe we have to talk about this like every week. So this guy's technically correct about everything he says here, including all of his sources. And when you're tackling Christian fascists, that's important. We're forced to constantly bring facts and figures repeatedly to combat the Charlie Kirk-led misinformation machine. But in the space of Rebel HQ, I think we're mature enough to recognize that, yeah, all the Founding Fathers were Christian, and we shouldn't pretend they weren't. And I'll get to why we shouldn't in a minute. But first, take a look at this preacher who thinks that his religion is truly marginalized in this country.
We're taking over all 7 mountains for the body of Jesus Christ. That includes information technology, because all we got is CNN and MSNBC and these people don't love Jesus.
So what all these right-wing grifters can't hold in their brains is that while the Founding Fathers were Christian, and many of them devoutly so, they did not want a Christian state. This apparently is too big of a contradiction for Charlie Kirk to understand. It would be crazy to think that their faith didn't play a big role in how they see the world. And obviously, it bled into how they approached their huge tasks like drafting the Constitution. We can't have complex discussions about the nature of religion and government, because the truth is, we aren't in a world where they're completely separate. We never have been. Because the United States was founded, and I use that loosely, by Christians. And when Christianity is the norm, it can lead to things like this tweet, where marginalized religions are the target of hate, ranging from stupid and frankly embarrassing little games like this to actual cases of violence. Because if we just pretend that it's always been completely separate, we do a big disservice to people of non-Christian religions in not understanding that it is the status quo. And it is largely the status quo because the founders made it so. All of these things are not actually very complicated, but again, when we're dealing with people like Charlie Kirk, who are pushing a very specific narrative, it's oftentimes the best just to dumb it down a lot. Thanks so much for watching. You can follow me on all platforms at Caro Johnson 917.